Hello friends, welcome back. In this video, this will be a continuation of multi-factor authentication via OTP. So in the last video, we have seen how we can generate an OTP. In this video, I want us to see how we can verify the OTP. This will be the OTP verification. How can we verify the OTP? So stay tuned. If you have not yet watched the previous videos, I would recommend you to go back and watch, then come back and continue with this video. So stay tuned. In this video, I am going to write the logic for verifying the OTP. The logic for verifying the OTP. Logic for verifying the OTP. So stay tuned. So in this video, let us write our code. Public, it will be of type API error response, verify OTP. What do we need for us to verify the OTP? We need email address. We also need OTP. Now, there are several things that we need to check. The first thing is to check whether the account is locked. This is this check here. Check if the account is locked. Then the other step will be to get this Redis key. Remember, we are going to the Redis. We are going to the Redis data store. Search for this particular key. Extract the email and the OTP. Then do the validation. But before that, we need to check the OTP data. OTP data is equals to Redis template dot ops for value dot get key, our key. So we want to check whether our key is there in the Redis. Required type is OTP data provided. OTP data, OTP data. So let us cast this. We need to do some casting. OTP data. Just like that. The next step is to check whether this OTP data is null. If this is null, that means there is no OTP for this particular account. Therefore, we should return invalid OTP. Let me draw this. But in this case, I am going to check if OTP data is null. This means that the OTP is invalid, or we don't have a valid OTP. So in this case, we are going to draw. In this case, we are going to return, not to draw. Return new API response. But I want us to put different message, like this is so let us put invalid OTP, then invalid OTP message, invalid OTP message. Remember, I showed you how to define these errors, the way you want them to appear in your config, rather the constants. Then the other thing that I am going to check is else. If there is an OTP. So basically here we are checking if there is no OTP, just return invalid OTP because there is no OTP. The other check is if there is an OTP, check if it is correct. If it is incorrect, increment the attempts, number of attempts, and then if the number of attempts is equal to the maximum allowed, block that account. So this will be a very interesting logic. So the first thing is OTP data dot not OTP service, but OTP data dot, basically OTP data dot, remember there is a method called increment attempts. So this will increment the number of attempts. So we begin by incrementing the number of attempts. You have put an OTP, yes. Increment the number of attempts. Then write Redis templates dot ops for value dot set. I want us to set our key. I also want us to set OTP data, our new OTP data. I also, after you have done the increment, so our new OTP data will increment the number of maximum allowed incorrect OTP attempt. So then finally, we will also add the duration dot of minutes. So this is block duration, and we are done with not block duration but OTP expiry. OTP expiry in minutes. OTP expiry in minute. We are saving, we are updating our Redis, setting our key, the OTP data with the of course the number of counts updated, and of course the number of expiry. How long will this OTP takes to expire? Okay. Then let us continue. So we will say if OTP data dot get attempts is greater than or equal to max attempts. If it is greater than or equal to max attempt, here is where we are going to block account for this particular email. After blocking the account, we are going to return new API response telling the customer that your account has been blocked. So in this case, account blocked error. There is an error I have created called account blocked error. Then account blocked message. Remember I showed you how to define this thing, like account is blocked due to multiple failed attempts. Just that, just a string. So if now we have blocked and returned a message, then we want to keep track of remaining int remaining. After blocking, we want to track the number of remaining attempts. Number of remaining attempts will be max attempt minus OTP data. OTP data dot get attempts. So this will give us how many attempts are remaining. For example, if I have entered an invalid OTP one time, that means I have 2 remaining attempts. Okay. Then here I will return. Remember, this else part take care of an invalid OTP. So I am going to return API response invalid. So I am going to return invalid or attempt counts. So I am going to return invalid account blocked error. So this account blocked error, basically this message and this message. But remember here, I want us to go and see what is this. This is invalid OTP, attempts remaining. Let us pass the attempts remaining. Let us pass the attempts remaining. So plus remaining attempts, can also pass them here, plus remaining attempts. And friends, I am done with the logic to verify the OTP. The logic to verify the OTP. So I will go through this code once again. So the first step is to check if the account is locked. The other one is to create the key. The other one will be get the OTP for the given key. So this one is a check if OTP is null. This is this check. Then this one is if OTP not null. Okay, yeah, OTP not null. So I was trying to summarize those attempts, those attempts, those attempts. Those attempts. Now, I think basically here we are checking at this point the OTP is not null. Now let us check whether the OTP is correct. If the OTP is not null, that means you have already attempted. Up to this point, you have already made your first attempt. Therefore, increment the number of attempts and update your Redis. So updating the Redis, you will reset your key, your OTP data with the number of attempts and the duration expiring. Then the other check is, of course, you check whether the attempts is greater than or equal to maximum attempts. They are greater or equal to this, block that account and return an error that the account has been blocked. Then calculate the remaining attempts, max attempt minus OTP.get this attempt. Then return. You return invalid attempts count. And that is it for this video. Friends, let us go through, let us meet in the last video for this particular series. And in that last video, we are going to call this method inside our account service and also build the controller endpoints for this and do the actual testing. Friends, I promise that this will be that coming video will be the last video for this series. I have divided this into series to prevent the boredom of having to go through a very long video. So, bye.